All right, this is Willie Griswold of the Bob and Tom Show with Costaki Economopoulos. We are here at Radio Row in Phoenix, Arizona, and we're very happy to be talking to Tim Brown and Michael Crawford. Good morning, fellas. How we doing?
Doing good, brother. How are you?
Good.
Great.
I'm a fan, man. Good to see you.
Hey, appreciate that.
I got a question for you. Did you have a I got this moment when you came into the pros? Was there a play? Was there a game where you're like, oh, I can hang with these guys?
Well, I was told, leaving Notre Dame, that I wouldn't be able to do what I did in college and NFL, return punts and kickoff. So the very first time I touched the ball in the NFL, I returned a kick 97 yards for a touchdown.
Is that right? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, I think
that's a pretty good start.
That's a good moment.
That sort of, gave me the idea that, okay, I can at least do this. And, So, when you're told you can't do something and you do it, then you feel better about going forward.
That's great. What a great story. I didn't know that. That's a hell of a way to start. All right, so now looking back, if you're the king and you could change one NFL rule, what would you change?
Look, I really believe the only issue that you have with the NFL is sometimes the officiating is not right. Right, and of course I have history to back me up on that.
Mm-hmm.
But and I think they should, be judged. I don't want to say more harshly, but if you're not judging not well, then you sit out a week, or you don't participate.
Oh, if you're not nailing your job,
you know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
Any other job, if you're not doing it well, then there's a problem. You know what I mean? But so I just would like to see a little bit more focus on that. But I just don't know if that would ever happen, because the NFL Referees Union is about as strong a union as there is in the country.
But they're not even full-time employees, right? They're part-timers.
Yeah, that's correct. They all have jobs. They live in Kansas City, but they're not going to be biased in the Kansas City Raiders game. Yes, I believe that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Is there
jerseys? The ref has a Travis Kelce jersey under his ref outfit.
What's the fix? Would you have more sort of eye in the sky? Would you be able to challenge anything?
They get graded every week.
Right.
Just go by grades. Whoever grades out the best,
it's a merit system.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
I think that would be pretty simple.
Can you guys tell us a little bit about the premiere of Perfect 10?
Yeah, no, please.
Look, I think when I was getting ready to go into the Hall of Fame, I had a buddy to come up to me and say, hey, did you know you were only the 9th guy to win the Heisman and be inducted? That was obviously before Charles Woodson. And say, dude, 40, 50 guys have done that. What's wrong with you, On the bus ride to my enshrinement speech, I'm Googling up how many Heisman winners have also been inducted in the Hall of Fame. And at that time, they didn't have me, so it was only 8. And I had a wow moment, but my thought process immediately went to, wow, what an incredible legacy we're leaving on the field. Could we get together and do something off the field that was just as big as far as leaving a legacy? And that started the whole process of, having to go to these other 6 guys and see if they would be on board with that, because we lost 2 and one is not a part for other reasons we won't mention. So I think from that standpoint, it was pretty interesting to just have a conversation. I mean, I'd say all the time, I wish that I had a camera when I went to Roger Staubach and asked him about this and told him that he was the first guy, only quarterback to do this. I mean, he almost cried. He was so emotional about the fact that, wow, finally it didn't, not feeling as if he had been recognized as one of the top, quarterbacks in the league.
Right.
He sort of felt like this is something that would leave that mark,
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
All right, to drastically change topics, a lot of people are mad about the Pro Bowl games. Of course, you don't want players getting injured, but you got to do something fun, get the people at home into it. So if there's several options for a Pro Bowl game, I'm saying, what would you guys like to see? Some options would be like a 3-legged race, a sack race, maybe the egg race, or maybe just have the Manning brothers fist fight on live TV.
Yeah, I mean... it's really embarrassing watching, I don't know. They shouldn't even call it Pro Bowls anymore. They should call it something else. They really should come up with another name for it, because it's a slap in the face for all the guys who went and played, all those games there, all those years, in Hawaii. To call this a Pro Bowl is really not right. But I know they're going to do what they want to do. But it's unfortunate. I was there at the Pro Bowl last year, walked out after the first quarter. Certainly didn't even watch anything of this weekend. I mean, I know it's fun. I understand what they're trying to do. But when you say Pro Bowl, to us old heads, that means something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
you know, to see what was happening there was pretty tough to watch.
How did they handle it in your day? Was there sort of a gentleman's agreement
Yeah.
not to play too hard, but
No,
to
no.
still be competitive?
Our whole deal was, look, we're going to play this game to the end of the third quarter. If the game is close, it's on. It's a real game.
Okay.
Let's go. And, you know, I mean, so, but you didn't see what you saw the last few years before they cut this thing out,
Right.
where guys were not making efforts and all that. You didn't see anything like that. But there was a, hey, we're going. There was like a mutual, hey,
Okay.
all right. And you played the game, man. And that's how it was.
Best
so
on best.
I think that's the way it should be.
But those first 3 quarters, it was all, you were hitting each other hard, and it was
yeah,
regular
it was,
football.
It was regular football for sure. Yeah.
So what changed then? It was just the
money.
The money.
The money. The
The
guys are
amount
making
of
more
money.
You know, the fact that they only making $100,000 over there, but they're making,
Right.
you know, $1 million a week. You
Yeah.
know, it's, you know, they don't want to risk that at all.
I get that. I mean, I miss the old game too, but I get the motivation in the current game. All right. So how would you save the Pro Bowl now, though? You're not going to get those guys to go back in time.
I just think you should change the name. You shouldn't call it a Pro
Make it
Bowl.
a different
Yeah.
thing.
Skills challenge.
Just
Yeah.
call it, but don't, you know.
Yeah.
See, the problem is, at the end, guys are judged by how many Pro Bowls they make and things of that nature.
Right.
So that's the problem you have. So you got to, you know, I'm sure that's why they want to keep it as a Pro Bowl. But I just think it's really, it's hard for me to hear
Yeah,
that.
I hear you.
It would be funny, though, if they changed it and you'd have, like, Pat Mahomes, he's being inducted to the NFL Hall of Fame, Super Bowl MVP. He did win the karaoke contest in
Yeah.
the 2024 Pro Bowl with his rendition of Whitney Houston. It was,
And that's likely that's going to happen in the future here. You know, I mean.
it's just American Idol.
I mean, they're literally coming up with stuff. They don't know
Yeah.
what to do. I mean,
Yeah,
I was
they're
talking
trying
to
to-
somebody the other day. They were like, we're just hoping that it works.
They
you
threw
know?
everything they had
Yeah.
at it. The Manning brothers, Pat
Oh,
McAfee, right? Snoop Dogg, Pete Davidson, right?
Crazy.
Yeah, that's
Crazy.
right.
Well, if we can focus on the funny for a little bit, would you guys mind reading one of those jokes off those note cards we handed you?
All right, you're first,
You want me
Michael.
to go first?
Yeah.
And would you mind doing it into this mic right here? Is that
Absolutely.
okay? Thank you very
Absolutely.
much.
This is a joke about the Rams.
Yes,
Rams
sir.
owner Stan Kroenke has been ordered to pay $571 million to St. Louis for moving the team to L.A. Talk about an arch nemesis.
I loved the reading and the look up at the very end.
That was a legit cold read.
It's a reveal.
Yeah, literally didn't know the joke
Didn't
until
know
it's
the joke
over.
until the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
like
it.
you're
too
announcing at the Oscars and forgot the name of La La
Yeah,
Land.
exactly.
Okay, now Tim, if you wouldn't mind.
All right. My good friend Tom Brady's career is so old, Leonardo DiCaprio won't date it.
There it is, folks. Thank you, Tim Brown and Michael Crawford, for joining us here on Radio Row in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Willie Griswold of the Bob and Tom Show here with Costaki Economopoulos. We'll see you soon.